There's a difference between God and his creation. There's a difference between Krishna and his energy. Just like the sun and sunlight. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's a relationship between the sun and sunlight. Without the sunlight, you cannot see the sun. Without the sun, the sunlight has no existence. So there's a relationship there. But still, there's also a difference between the sun and sunlight. There's a difference between the energy and the energetic. Just like incense and its smell. There's a difference between the incense and its fragrance also. There's a difference between the sun and the sunlight. Even though there's oneness is there, there's also difference. So the creation is not Krishna personally. This is his energy. The energy always changing. But Krishna, the energetic, never changes. So Krishna gives one example. So he gives this example in chapter 9, verse 6.
Chapter 9.
Just as the all-pervasive and limitless wind rests always in the sky, in the same way all cosmic elements are situated in me, but I am not in them. Got that, Charlie? Inconceivable relationship between Krishna and the creation. So the sky is the resting place of all clouds, all wind, all atoms, all elements, everything rests in the sky. The sky never moves. But the wind and the clouds are always moving. So in the same way, the creation rests in Krishna. The creation always changes, but Krishna never changes. He is the shelter and the foundation of the creation. Just like an axle, right? The wheels spin on an axle at hundreds of rotations a minute, but the axle never actually moves. But the wheels spinning on the axis, they move very fast. So one name of Krishna is Adoksaja. Adoksaja means literally the axle. Means he is always separate from his creation. The creation is his. It's his potency. But the creation moves, the creation transforms, but he never transforms. So this is like a material, to get some material idea of how everything rests in Krishna, but Krishna never changes. He never transforms. Like the sky and the wind. The wind blows east, the wind blows west. Sometimes there's no wind. Sometimes there are hurricanes. But this has no influence at all on the sky. Sky always remains unchanged. So, in the next verse, we should understand the creation comes and goes. The creation comes and goes. It's always in flux. It's always moving. As there is creation, there's also dissolution. Actually, every moment, everything's dissolving. There's a, what's the word? There's a dissolution every second. Every second, everything around us is transforming. There's growth, there's birth, there's growth. Then it reaches its peak stage, then it declines and disappears. So all this is going on, but Krishna has no transformation, no change at all. His energies are working, but he never works. Funny. Therefore the scriptures say, Natasya karam karanam cha vidite, natat samas nacha adik cha vidite. Krishna does nothing. Krishna does nothing. He does everything by desire. So Krishna has many energies willing and ready to serve his desire. Just like we eat, we see, we smell, we hear, we taste, we move, we sleep, we dream, but the soul is not actually doing anything like that. In that sense, the soul is the non-doer. So in the universal sense, Krishna is also the non-doer. He just desires. create. And his material energy creates everything. Destroy, his material energy destroys everything. I want to become many. Then Krishna produces unlimited individual souls to enter into the creation, but Krishna himself not doing anything. Got it, Charlie? Understand? So you can't blame God for doing. You can't say God is doing, because he not does anything. He does everything by desire, just by sankalpa. So the creation comes again, like again and again. You know, like a spider. The spider from his own potency produces a web. But the spider and the web are different. The creation dissolves. The spider eats the web again, but the spider remains unaffected. So in the same way, Krishna says, at the time of dissolution or devastation, all material elements, in Sanskrit we call material elements, she's called Prakriti. Prakriti is a feminine word. She's feminine, material nature, Mother Nature, we say. But Mother Nature, like a mother, cannot give birth to a child without a man. So material nature, she has no desire. Krishna has desire. And material nature, what Krishna wants, that happens. So Krishna is called in Sanskrit Purush. Purush means male, force, the enjoyer, the potent, the one who desires, who orders. And material nature, the question comes, who's material nature? Material nature cannot do anything independently, like an atom. Atom cannot join with another atom without some force sticking it together. So the combination we see in material nature, who is controlling that? Who is directing that? Okay, so this is the combination of male and female. Prakriti, the womb, the mother, and Purush, God, Krishna, right? The energetic. So when Krishna desires, from his body comes the creation, material nature, and when Krishna is finished, means when Krishna desires, then again the creation enters back into him. But in both creation and dissolution, Krishna remains unattached and unaffected. Like the sky may have snowstorms, thunderstorms, typhoons, nice spring breezes, but this have no influence on the sky itself. The sky is always the same. So Krishna says, how I control material nature just by desire. So material nature here is called, you see, Prakritim Swam Avastaya Visrajam Puna Puna Bhutagramam Imam Krishna Mavasam Prakritim Vasad. So the soul is superior to material nature. Therefore, this world is two types of Prakriti. The soul is also called feminine. And material nature is also feminine. And both are controlled by the Purush, the male, the Supreme Lord, that is Krishna. But still the soul is superior to material nature. Therefore material nature is called Apara Prakriti. And the soul is called Para Prakriti. Because the soul is superior to nature. Like a dead body has eyes but cannot see. A dead body has nose and mouth but cannot smell or taste. Why? Soul is there. So soul is also one feminine tense, in the sense that the soul is feminine in nature. Like the wife's duty is to serve and give pleasure to the husband. So the soul is also of a feminine nature. The soul is a servant to be enjoyed by Krishna. But when the soul comes to this world, because the soul has free will, the soul can choose to accept its feminine nature or rebel against it. Free will is there, no? The soul can choose to act according to its eternal nature or choose a different path. Why should I be a servant when I want to enjoy? So the soul bewildered by false desire, by false ego, the soul gives up her eternal servant nature as servant and tries to become a temporary master, controller, and enjoyer of material nature. So sometimes the soul is called Purush and sometimes the soul is called Prakriti. Very interesting thing in Sanskrit language. The soul is called Purush when bewildered and trying to enjoy material nature. And the soul is called Prakriti, feminine, when she accepts her nature as servant. But in all conditions, Krishna is the master of both, the material nature and the individual soul. So in all this, Krishna remains detached. Nachamam tanikarmani nirbandanti dhananjaya. It's not like when the soul suffers, Krishna suffers. It's not like that. So in all situations, Krishna remains detached from the creation, like the sky remains detached from the wind. So we cannot blame Krishna for the occurrences in material nature, just like you cannot blame the sky for a storm. Sky is just neutral, like a shelter. So in all the both creation and destruction, Krishna remains fully detached. If we lose our phone, we go crazy. Right? If we lose something in this world, because of so much material attachment, our mind becomes disturbed. We become too much attached to something, then we develop lust. When lust is not fulfilled, we develop anger. When someone has more enjoyment than us, we become envious. So the soul, bewildered by material nature, always suffering through these six enemies, these six transformations: lust, greed, anger, enviousness, madness, and illusion. These are six enemies. But Krishna, even though material nature comes from him, rests in him, he is fully detached from the activities of his own material nature. Millions of universes come from Krishna's desire, but he is not attached. Millions of universes are destroyed, he not laments. That is Krishna. So in English, people say God, but in Sanskrit, we say Bhagawan. Charlie's heard any of this before? Or has Charlie had any contact with the Vedic teachings? Or
I
if
think
you
he's,
have, okay,
I think he's
okay,
Bhagavad Gita before.
okay, we'll just keep
Hey,
going now, no?
yes, I have, Maharaj. And if I may I share? May I speak?
What? Can you ask something? You want to ask a
Yeah.
question?
Can you hear me very well?
Yes.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I've been sitting in a little bit of turmoil that I feel a bit embarrassed it's taken me so long to speak up, but I just wanted to comment that um, I felt something alive inside of me when you made a humorous joke, albeit that I know that you probably have a deep friendship with Madhurika. That when you joked that she didn't have friends, it reminded me of my times at school being surrounded by brothers that would demean one another for humor, and it hurt my feelings inside to receive that as a witness for Madhurika. So
Uh-huh.
um,
Well, she's got a friend. That's good. No, but Madurka has a lot of friends.
yeah,
So,
yeah, she's wonderful. And yes, I have got some experience with the Vedic teachings. So thank you for sharing and inviting me in.
so one definition of God we call Bhagawan. Bhagawan means who owns everything, who controls everything, who pervades everything, but has no attachment to it. That is very wonderful. So in both creation and destruction, no gain or loss for Krishna. He always remains situated within his own self. Unfair to think Krishna is unaffected by the pleasures and pains of this world. He is full of mercy, full of kindness, but he's always detached. like a witness. So since I remain detached like a neutral observer, the actions such as creation cannot bind Krishna. If we create something, we become bound by it. If we destroy something, we become affected by it. But in creation and destruction, Krishna is always free from karma. Right? There's no reaction for Krishna. What to speak of Krishna, even a devotee in this world who always remembers Krishna and performs all activities for him, that person, that devotee remains fully detached despite performing all activities. So, O Kunt, son of Kunti, O Arjuna, under my direction, my external energy, the material energy, right? Material nature is not independent. She works fully under the control of Krishna. Krishna gives the living entities in the material world, he gives result, just like a judge gives a sentence in a mood of neutrality. So material nature is not independent, under whose power the sun is rising, under whose power the moon is rising, who is causing the rotation of the, what you call Navagraha, the different planets through the different houses of the universe. Who is performing this? Under what strength the wind is blowing, the sun is shining. This is all under Krishna's direction. So my external potency, that is the material energy, Maya. Right? Krishna has many, many energies. The material energy, from which the varieties of material creation come from. The spiritual energy. Krishna, where does Krishna live? Not in England or the material world. Krishna has his own residence, his own abode. That is the spiritual world. Unfortunately, people have no knowledge of the spiritual world. Sioned, what's God doing in the spiritual world?
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
Don't think that. He's doing many, many activities. He's very busy there.
I thought you didn't do anything.
This is Krishna. He does everything, but he does nothing at the same time. He creates everything, but remains unattached. He's inside everything, but at the same time separate from everything. So don't think because Krishna has no material activities like creation and destruction, doesn't mean he doesn't have spiritual activities. Right? Like we said before, the soul is not seeing, the soul is not eating, the soul is not sleeping, the soul is not taking birth, the soul is not dying. But doesn't mean the soul has no activities. And in its liberated state, the soul has many, many activities in relation with Krishna. So because the scriptures say Krishna has no material activities, doesn't mean he does not have spiritual activities. Right? Just because some scriptures say God has no material form doesn't mean he has a spiritual form. Right? So Krishna has many, many spiritual activities. These are called his lila. Like, anyway, we can hear about them, Krishna's lila. This is why people becomes, Krishna seems so contradictory. Right? He has no mother and father, but he takes birth from the womb of Yasoda. Have you heard of Krishna's mother? Okay, yeah. Krishna is the mother and father of everyone. How can he have a mother? Someone just left.
I think it was Charlie.
Krishna is the mother and father of everyone, but still, he becomes from the womb of Yasoda. This is the contradiction. Who has no birth, how can he take birth? Who's the beginning of everyone, how can he have a mother and father? But this is Krishna. There's a nice verse, Virudhara Mahasraya, impossible things all harmonized in Krishna. He has no material body, but he becomes hungry and cries to his mother, give me milk. Right? He's the absolute truth, but he steals. When baby Krishna steals butter, then his face is covered with butter, his hands are covered in butter, his mouth is full of butter, then his mother catches him. Are you stealing my butter? And what does Krishna say? I am not. I am not stealing butter. So this is Krishna. These are opposite things. the absolute truth, who tells lies, the foundation of all morality, who steals, the person who does nothing, has many activities. So who can harmonize these things, that person can understand Krishna. You cannot just put him in a box, because he is inconceivable potencies. He is not just inside the creation, at the same time he is also fully separate from the creation. Like the clouds rest in the sky, but the sky and the clouds fully different, fully separate. So Krishna has no material activities, but he's very busy in the spiritual world, very busy fellow. You can hear about Krishna's eternal day, we call that. Like you have your day, why God can't have his day? But our day is controlled by time. Our day is controlled by karma. But Krishna is not like that. Why Krishna wakes up? Why Krishna sleeps? This is all for the happiness of the devotees. Okay, Shanid, confused? Krishna has no mother, father, and philosophically looking, he has no mother and father. He's the mother and father of everything. If someone loves him and want to serve him like a mother, Krishna can give that position to you. He's so kind. By giving that position to the devotee, Krishna does not become diminished. He becomes more glorious, more wonderful. Like normally to lie is a fault, but when Krishna lies, everyone feels so happy. Especially when small children lie, no one becomes angry, everyone laughs. It gives happiness to the parent. Oh, look how intelligent he is. Anyway, so many people cannot harmonize these dichotomies, these opposites. They just become stuck on one thing or the other. But with Krishna, as we hear, then we can enter into things which are inconceivable. That is the nature of Krishna, inconceivable. Bigger than the biggest. The whole creation rests in him very easy, so he's bigger than the creation. So he's bigger than the biggest. But at the same time, he enters into every atom of the creation, so he's smaller than the smallest at the same time. He does nothing because he just desires, but in the spiritual world, he's very busy. He wakes up in the morning, his friends come and wake him up. Krishna, long time you're sleeping, they jump on his bed, wake him. His mother shoos them out, they give him bath. All his friends and servants wash him, shampoo his hair, they decorate him. When they decorate Krishna, they feel ecstasy, so much bliss, so much happiness. So Krishna doesn't need to perform activities like taking bath, because he's the supreme pure. But if he doesn't allow the devotees to serve him, they'll become unhappy. So even though he has no desires, no actions to perform, he performs activities like taking bath for the happiness of the devotees. Then he goes for breakfast. Actually, first he has to go and milk the cows. After that, his friends do some exercise in the courtyard, some wrestling. Then Krishna goes for breakfast. He has no desires, but he's always moving. He does nothing, but day and night he's performing his lila, his activities. So where material reasoning stops, Krishna's activities begin from there. So if Krishna has no attachment, why he performs the creation? Not necessary for him. Anyway, so when Krishna appears in this world, then people think, oh, he's like us. All material bodies in this world come from the meeting of our mothers and fathers. But Krishna's body is not like that. His body is eternal. It has no beginning. So Avadananti Mamudha. So Krishna appearing in like a human form. But he is the cause of the entire creation. Under my direction, my external potency gives birth to the cosmic manifestation with all moving and non-moving beings. And for this reason, the material world is created again and again. So he is the Supreme Lord of everything. But he appearing in a very charming, human-like form to give happiness to everyone. Sonia, did you ask a question or anything? Any questions you have?
I always have, but I wouldn't want to take time. So maybe at the
All
end.
right, we're here for that.
Okay, well, it's about an example in the material world of a mother and a child. Is that mother within Krishna consciousness? Is the intention for the mother not to become attached to her child?
The question comes, this motherly affection comes from where? What's the source? Everything comes from God. Therefore, motherly affection also must be there in the perfect stage. Just like the shadow of the hand has 5 fingers also. That means the original has 5 fingers. So this idea, for example, of motherly affection, what's the ultimate source of it? In this world, mother and father have sex, the child comes as a byproduct. So the child's a manifestation of lust. Understand? But that lust, that desire, that thing must come from God. It must exist also in the spiritual world in a pure way. So the perfection of motherly affection is to love Krishna like your son, like Mother Yasoda. This month we're talking so much about her. Of course, this is inconceivable for most persons to think that God has a mother. But someone has so much affection for Krishna, they want to serve him like a son, then Krishna can give that position to them. So, just like in this world, a mother takes care of the child, what's the origin of that? That feeling, where does it come from? In this world, there are 5 relationships. Like husband and wife, therefore sex life, what's the real origin of sex life even? Sex life exists in a pure form in the spiritual world. Another relation is a relationship between parents and the child. So that relationship exists in a pure form in the spiritual world. Friend and friend relationship. That friend and friend relationship also exists in the spiritual world. This is called sakiras, the relation of friendship. Someone serves like an employee serves the boss, or the soldier serves the captain or the king. So this master and servant relationship also exists in the spiritual world. And the neutral relationship, like yogis in this world, that neutral relationship also rests there. So in the spiritual world, Krishna is called Rasik Shekhar. Krishna is the object of all of these relationships. In the spiritual world, Krishna has millions and millions of mothers and fathers. Millions and millions of devotees think Krishna is my son. They love Krishna like a mother and father love a son. How is it possible? How can one Krishna have millions of mothers and fathers? That's God. Krishna has millions and millions of beloveds, millions of girlfriends. Not girlfriend is not a good word, but millions and millions of beloveds. So sex life exists in its pure form in the spiritual world. Parental relationship exists in its pure form in the spiritual world. Friendship exists in its pure form in the spiritual world. Servitude exists in its pure form. But Krishna is the object and center of all these relationships. And when the soul comes to this material world and forgets Krishna, these 5 relationships come in a perverted and transformed way in this world. Boyfriend and girlfriend. But that relationship is based on lust and exploitation. Even the parental affection a mother and child, mother feels for the son, is also based on some selfishness. The mother feels some pleasure, but they're thinking when the child grows up, the child will maintain me, the child will serve me. So this world is like a reflection of the spiritual world. If you look in the mirror, everything is in the reflection, but everything is opposite, right? So everything you see in this material world if you can perceive, the direct opposite is the spiritual world. Here everything is temporary. Therefore in the spiritual world everything is eternal. Here everything is ignorance. Oh, hang on, my package has come. If I answer this, I hope I don't cut you. I've been waiting this package for days. Excuse me.
Nice material world example. Package delivery.
We can't hear you, Madhurika.
Hear you. No.
Thank you. Sorry. I said anyway, Marge will have to probably finish giving class quite soon because it's Kartik and it's very busy there. But so nice. Anyone have any reflections or any questions anyone have? Then we can ask Marge when he comes back. Oh, Marge is back. Okay.
Hello.
Hare Krishna, Marge.
Sorry, I'm not so expert to take the call. Anyway, so this world is the exact reflection of the spiritual world. Here everything is temporary, therefore in the spiritual world, which is the opposite, everything is eternal. Here is ignorance. In the spiritual world, everything is full knowledge. Here is mixed happiness. There's some happiness, but it's temporary and mixed with suffering. But in the spiritual world, there's pure, unmixed happiness. So these three, eternality, knowledge, and bliss, this is what Krishna is made of. We call Satchidananda. So the soul has given up the spiritual world in one sense and chosen the complete opposite. So in this world, who's the king? Who exploits the most, who enjoys the most? That is called material happiness. And the spiritual world is the full opposite. In the spiritual world, there's no material happiness. There's no feeling of exploitation or enjoyment. There's only feeling of service. So spiritual life and material life, complete opposite. Material life means your own pleasure, and spiritual life means the pleasure of Krishna. That's why spiritual life in the beginning is so much hard. Because millions of lives we've become addicted to, with thinking that happiness means to enjoy the environment. And devotion means the direct opposite of that. To give up the enjoying, exploiting mentality and to adopt the mentality of service. Like Shona a few weeks ago, she was just cooking toast for herself, right? You're thinking, by my activities, I will exploit this toast and enjoy it because it's mine. But spiritual life means the opposite of that. This toast is not mine. This body is not mine. This toast belongs to Krishna. I will give to him. He will enjoy it. Afterwards, in a mood of service, I can take that because I have to eat something. Otherwise, how will I serve? Anyway, so not so easy, real spiritual life. A full freedom from exploitive mentality. Complete freedom from lust. So it says, Nidindra Prativanchitara Balikam. Lust is called the desire to enjoy your own senses. And the opposite of that is called prem, where there's only one desire to give happiness to the senses of Krishna. So if lust is like darkness, then prem is like sunlight, full opposite. That's why pure devotion in this world very rarely attained. Very rarely attained. Okay, so in the spiritual world, Krishna has millions of girlfriends. They're not trying to enjoy Krishna. They're always trying to give pleasure to Krishna. Krishna's mother and millions of mothers and fathers, but they're all trying to give pleasure to Krishna. They're all trying to serve him. Krishna has millions of friends. They're not in competition with Krishna. They're trying to give happiness to Krishna by their bodies, because the soul also can have a spiritual body. If the soul can have a material body, what's the opposite of material body? That's a spiritual body. Spiritual body also has eyes, nose, mouth, ears, hands, and legs. But the spiritual body is 24 hours a day trying to serve Krishna. By the activities of my body, mind, and words, I will give pleasure to Krishna. So devotion means that. We're called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti means bhaj dhatu. Bhaj means to serve. So bhakti means the yoga of serving. If you love someone, you serve them, you give them. No? So devotion means in this world, because now I have a material body. So I have to use now my material senses also for the pleasure of Krishna. We should not think that's impossible. If the devotee uses all their material senses also for the service of Krishna. Like now, I'm using my tongue to speak about Krishna. You're using your ears to hear about Krishna. So Sonya's offering her toast. That toast she's tasting. She's using her tongue to serve Krishna. Can use tongue to chant the holy names, hands to cook, feet to walk to the holy places, head to bow to Krishna, mind to think of Krishna. So there's a nice verse. Sarvu parivinena muktam tatpada tatpena nemalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti utnam. What is the definition of devotion? When the soul remains completely free from any other material identification. I'm from Wales, I'm a woman, this is my husband, this is mine. When the soul becomes completely free from all this misidentification. I am Krishna's servant. This body also belongs to Krishna. And with all the activities of the material senses, they engage in Krishna's service. This is called Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, senses in Sanskrit are called rishi. Someone who fully controls their senses, we call them a rishi. So one name of Krishna is Rishikesh. Have you heard of Rishikesh in India, Sionad? Have you heard of Rishikesh? Well, next time you hear of Rishikesh, you can remember that's the name of Krishna. Rishikesh means, thank you, Madhurika. Rishikesh is a name of Krishna, which means Lord of the senses. Because who is actually giving the power to see? Who is giving power to smell? Who is giving power to taste? That is Krishna. That power we use for his service, this is called bhakti. That gives happiness, that gives liberation from material existence. And when you use the activities of the senses for your own pleasure, that is material bondage. That means you will have to take another material body again at the time of death. So devotion means two stages of devotion. In the beginning is a little force. No? I don't know what's a good word, force. In the beginning, that feeling to serve Krishna may not come naturally. Even though to serve Krishna is the natural inclination of the soul. So when this tendency to serve Krishna comes by the instructions of the scriptures, by fear of material existence, then this type of devotion is called Vaidhi Bhakti. We have to begin from this Vaidhi Bhakti. Oh, I want to eat chicken. I feel hungry. No. Scriptures say if you eat chicken, you'll be degraded and you'll have to take birth in lower species. Don't do it. Control. So, okay, I will eat food only offered to Krishna. So when this proclivity to serve Krishna comes with a little force, it's by the intelligence. No? Like a married man may see a nice girl, but then he remembers, no, I'm married, I cannot do this. This is like a material example of devotion in the beginning stages. No, it's restricted. It's done by a little bit of force. But when the heart is purified, then that proclivity to serve Krishna comes unrestricted. You cannot stop it. Even if you don't want to think of Krishna, you will think of him. The mind will run to him. Just like the river, the Ganga River runs to the ocean 24 hours a day, 7 days a week since millions of years. So when the mind always runs towards Krishna, this is a different type of devotion. It's called Raganuga. Rag means attachment. I don't know, what's the example is not a good example, but maybe there's an arranged marriage. We don't have them anymore too much, but still imagine arranged marriage. Parents have decided this boy is good for you, Sionak. Maybe in the beginning you're not feeling too much, but because parents have said, I've got married in the church, then I have to follow this. So in the beginning, in one sense, a bit like an artificial effort to control the mind and put it to Krishna's service. But when the wife begins living with the husband, the natural affection comes, then that forced affection now becomes natural. This is not a perfect example, but I'm just trying to give some idea. The child doesn't want to go to school. But parents understand without an education, child cannot make anything with their life. So the parents force the child to go to school. In the beginning, maybe he's not willing or she is not willing to go to school. She doesn't like it. But after a few days of school, make some friends, get some interest, some taste in education, then another feeling will come. So devotion has two stages. Now we're in the beginning stage, Vaidhi Bhakti. No. Even though we don't want to chant, I have to chant every day a certain fixed number. Just like many days we don't want to go to work, but we still go because we have to, out of sense of duty or whatever. So in the beginning, out of sense of duty, devotee, there may be some little force in devotion. I don't want to chant, but I must. I don't want to hear this guy again, but I should. I don't want to read, but if I read scripture, my heart will be enlivened. I'll get some insights, some taste. I want to eat bread that's not offered to Krishna, but it's not good for me. So in the beginning, it's called Vaidhi Bhakti, but by doing that, heart becomes purified. Then that natural taste to Krishna becomes transformed. Then it's called Rag. In the stage of Rag, cannot stop devotion. 24 hours you'll be chasing Krishna. Anyway, so are there any questions? Did that answer your question, Sonat? If you think back to half an hour ago, then so everything in this world is a shadow. Think like that. Think like that. Everything in this world is a perverted reflection, the opposite of reality. So what you call material happiness, that is actually suffering from the viewpoint of devotion. But in this world, everyone is serving. There's no one who is not serving. You're serving your husbands, you're serving your children. Even the most selfish woman in the world or man and the woman, they're serving their own mind or body, their own desires, their own thoughts. Everyone is serving. Devotion just means that service mentality, instead of putting in this world and suffering like a dog, you put it to Krishna. But there's no one who is not serving. So that when you sleep, who are you serving? The body. When you wake up and take shower, who are you serving? The body. When you're eating, who are you serving? The tongue, the stomach. Right? We're always serving the mind and senses. We're always serving this world. But when that service mood is given to Krishna, that's the real proper place. That's home. That's the natural dharma of the soul. And by association with high-class persons, they'll always give strength and nourishment to that feeling of service. So this month of Kartik is very busy. I just thought, Madhurika asked, will you give class? I said, no way, I'll be too tired. But then I thought, if I'm not speaking about Krishna, I'll be doing some other rubbish, so I better do it. Anyway, so if all of you... Okay, so are there any questions more from the people?
I have one question.
Yes. Hey, why you're not coming this year?
Very
What
good.
happened?
26th of this month I'm going to come. I'm at work 10 days
26th.
this year. Sorry.
Okay. And who else is coming?
Working.
She's from Turkey.
I live in England, Oxford.
Oh, God. Have you been here before?
I was in Turkey where we meet, and after that I came
Oh.
here 2018. We met 2016 in Antalya.
Oh,
Anyway.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
And you've
Krishna.
been chanting since then?
Of course, always.
My God, this is like a miracle.
Why? So,
Because you only meet devotees once and change so much.
no. Yeah, of course. So, I have
What's
a
your
question.
question?
One of my colleagues, when I was mentioning about Krishna, and she said, oh, I saw in Wikipedia is written that Krishna is having 108 wives. I could not answer. Can you explain me, please, what is the meaning of
No,
that?
108, 16,108.
Yeah, but in Wikipedia is written 108, and that's why I could not answer them. If someone asks me this type of questions, what I can explain, what I can say.
Well, you
Thank
can
you.
say God means unlimited. He can enjoy unlimitedly. Krishna can accept service from millions of mothers and fathers, millions of girlfriends, millions of friends. That's God, unlimited capacity to enjoy. And of course, when you tell people that, then they become envious. Why should only Krishna enjoy? I will enjoy. I can have 2 girlfriends, 3 girlfriends. That's why Krishna, to understand, is not very easy. We have to always understand him through the guidance of Krishna. Has 16,108 wives, but Krishna has no lust. Sioned, if Krishna has no lust, why would he marry 16,108 queens? Because he's very kind. Those ladies want to serve him like a wife, so he accepts them. He gives them that position. But Krishna has no sex desire. He has no material body. Understand? Okay, if you can understand that, you can understand anything. Yes, because people think Krishna is just an ordinary human. They think, how can a human have 16,108 queens? But they don't understand. Krishna has a human-like form, but he's God, the Supreme Lord. And all those queens, they're like him, supremely attractive. They have all different type of abilities: singing, dancing, cooking, decorating, joking, poetry. Because they're Krishna's energy, like sun and sunlight. In one sense, they're the feminine form of Krishna. So they're so qualified, so wonderful, they have all good qualities, divine qualities. So the soul can achieve that type of position. If you want to serve Krishna like that, Krishna can give that position. But these ladies have no one drop of desire for their own enjoyment. They're like Krishna, they have spiritual forms just like him. But to understand this is not very easy, because all we have experience of is material sex life. We have no experience of anything else. I'll just tell one story, then we'll finish. Okay, you can tell your friend this story. There was a blind man, and he wanted to understand what was white. How do you explain to a blind man what white is? He has no power to understand it. So you have to give some example. So one man said, white is like a swan. Of course, the blind man had never seen a swan also. What's a swan? So the friend held his hand up like that, like a swan. And the blind man was feeling his hand. What? A swan's like that? Like a fish hook? If I drink it, milk is white. If I drink milk, it will get caught in my it'll get caught in my throat like a swan and I'll die. I mean, how do you explain to a blind man what is milk? So someone who has no experience of anything except material enjoyment, how do you explain to them Krishna's enjoyment? Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, not very easy for people in this world to understand, because they only have material experience. Anyway, but by hearing, one's intelligence becomes a little bit, what's the word? Achintya, inconceivable. By Krishna's grace, you can understand things which are materially impossible to understand. Okay, we can talk one day about Krishna's marriages. That's a very interesting topic. Each girl, how they came to Krishna. There's all these stories. Especially there was one, Krishna's first wife, her name was Rukmini. So when she was a very small girl, the great saint Narad Muni would visit her father's palace. And her father was always very eager to hear about Krishna. So Narad Muni would speak about Krishna's name, Krishna's supremely attractive form, more handsome than millions of cupids, dark like a rain cloud, his teeth very white like pearls, his nose like a sesame flower, Sucharu Vaktu Mandalam, his face supremely attractive like full moon. So many examples, no? His hands like lotus, his eyes like a lotus, his smile like a lotus. So Rukmini was only 5 years old, small girl. When she heard about Krishna's beauty, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's so noble, so kind, like this. As a 5-year-old girl, she decided, I will marry him and no one else. So she fixed her mind on Krishna at the age of 5 years old. Because soul is not 5 years old, right? We're talking on the soul level. Anyway, that's the whole topic further. So each of these girls also has one history. Actually, we believe when Krishna came from the spiritual world, all these ladies came with him. And how they met Krishna, this is also his activities, his lila. Okay, so Nitin, you can try and explain, but this is like the PhD of Krishna consciousness, Krishna's loving affairs. And people who are not even basic human beings, it's not so easy for them to understand.
Of course, it's
Yes,
written
Krishna has no
108.
love. How is 16,108? That's just to give some number, but actually there's billions. And each Krishna expand himself to live with each queen. Krishna has all expansions, and each queen thinks Krishna is only with me. That is Krishna. Each queen thinks because Krishna loves me the best, Krishna is only with me. He only stays with me. Each queen thinks like this. How wonderful is Krishna? And each of these queens, they all have different moods, different type of affection. And Krishna tasting all this, still not satisfied. I'll tell one story, then we'll finish. There was one devotee called Sarvabhauma. So he invited Krishna for lunch, Krishna Chaitanya. Then he cooked with his wife. His wife was, what's her name? Sati was his wife, I think. They cooked hundreds of preparations, hundreds. Like 20 kilos of rice was like a mountain with so much, ghee. So much ghee was running down the bottom of the pile. Hundreds of different vegetable preparations, dals, sweets, cakes. It filled up a whole room of just preparations. When Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Chaitanya saw it, he said, no, I cannot eat so much. Just give me a little rice and vegetables. Then Sarvabhauma said, don't cheat me. I know how much you can eat. In the main temple of Krishna in Jagannath Puri, that's the city, Krishna eats 56 times a day. 56 times a day, they offer him different preparations. And each preparation is hundreds of kilos. So 56 times a day, he's eating the temple. This is only one temple. How many temples of Krishna are there all over the world? No one can count. And Krishna's eating lunch in every single temple. Right? Krishna has 16,108 wives. They're all cooking for Krishna lunch every day. He's eating at every house. He's eating from the hands of every wife. Krishna has millions of mothers, aunties, grandmothers. They're all cooking for him. He's eating all that as well. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I could just eat a little rice and vegetables, Sarvabhauma said, no, I know how much you can eat. And he explained all this. You're eating from the hands of millions and millions of devotees, but still you're not satisfied. You want more and more. So this is nothing for you. So Chaitanya Krishna very happy, even though he's God, he's happy to be defeated by the devotee. When devotee defeats him, he becomes very happy. So Sarvabhauma spoke the truth. He could not answer anything. So he took all these preparations, Anyway, this is a big topic. Okay, so we cannot limit Krishna. He can only enjoy this much. No. He can enjoy unlimitedly. And the souls of material world are very foolish. We think I will enjoy this world, but we are very small. The soul is very small. How much enjoyment can we do? How much can we eat? Right? Madhurika, how many veggie burgers can you have? 2, maximum 3. Then you're tapping out, right? No. No. I mean, how much Facebook can we watch? Okay, 12 hours, 14 hours, but after that, we all have a limit to our enjoyment because the soul is very small. So when the soul tries to enjoy material life, never satisfied. But when the soul serves, then the soul can taste unlimited enjoyment through a mood of service. But we are very foolish. Everyone, we have given up the mood of service and adopted a foreign nature. Anyway, but we always think service means to suffer. But no, with Krishna consciousness, service means bliss, happiness. So I've got to go downstairs.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, appreciate your
I'll
time.
show you. Wait, if everyone stays there, I'll show you what's going on downstairs.
You have to turn the background off so much.
Oh, yeah, how am I going to do that?
3 dots.
3 dots, right? 3 dots. Minimize your video. Make your video full screen. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm just also looking how to
No, what do I do?
oh yeah, go on
Oh,
to
3 dots, 3 dots.
go on to settings and then click on
What?
video.
Settings.
Yeah, and then click on video. And then you can click on backgrounds and effects. And it should. Maybe it's not good signal.